Right. Welcome to Tribulation Day 98. We're just 2 days away from the 100-day mark. The world continues to spiral downward into chaos. The good news is, it's not too late. It's never too late. You know, our president, Obama, is in Martha's Vineyard, enjoying his vacation, golfing, hanging out, and yeah, even doing some president-type stuff, like meeting with people. Wow. I don't know what to say. You know, here in San Jose, it was just downright cold this morning. And you know what? It's August, man, the middle of August. It should be blazing hot. And you know what, San Jose, it's weird, because even if it starts off really cold, we'll crank it on up, you know, by midday to like 70s. So it's actually pretty nice. But I just think something's kind of abnormal about the weather. And I do believe around the world we're experiencing nothing but extreme weird weather. And you know, the one thing I've noticed is lately in the news, there's been at least a half a dozen instances where stages collapse. You know, I think there was one in Germany, there's been several in America, but you know, they've been throwing concerts forever, and I have never heard of so many stages collapsing. And then, you know, they were speculating about the one in Indiana, that it was what they call a gustnado, which is a cross between a tornado and a huge gust of wind. But either way, it just demolished the stage. But you know, either A, it could just be the planet as a whole is reacting, heading into this transformative 2012 period, or B, you know, who knows, maybe someone's even manipulating the weather, man. You know, the chemtrails in the sky, the weird looking clouds, the what I call shimmer clouds, which are like clouds that kind of glow in a rainbow hue. But you know, if you can control the weather, maybe you controlled wind too. You know, I don't know, but it just seems like this is a new element to life as we know it. I just put up a blog article on the Tribulation blog and over at Aparte, anybody that's over on that website. But it's called Bracing for the First Wave. And in a nutshell, what it basically says is, you know, that we've reached a stage in our lives and society and development as human beings where communications and mass media have never had a greater social impact, both negative and positive, you know. And we've been seeing example after example around the world, you know, people protesting, whether it's in Egypt or Spain, you know, wherever. But, you know, these mobilizations, you know, can start off peaceful, but they tend to almost always end up with, you know, violence and death. And the latest incident, of course, was over in the United Kingdom, in England, where the whole country, the social fabric seemed to be just ripped asunder. And they had basically chaos and rioting for, you know, a week or so. So, you know, the big question is, can it happen here in America? And, you know, unfortunately, the answer is yeah, most likely yeah. So that's kind of what the blog is about, is I equate this new dynamic, this new phenomenon of mass mobilization to a wave at a sporting event. If you've ever been at a football game, you know, sometimes it might be at you know, a hockey game, but the crowd starts doing the wave. You know, it's like, yeah, yeah. Well, you know, when you think about it, nobody really knows who exactly starts it, you know, but it starts, and then it starts going around the arena, and everybody's standing up, and everybody's kind of caught up in it, going, oh, this is cool, yeah, oh, wow. But, you know, after like 10 minutes of that, you're kind of sitting there going, man, when's this damn wave ever going to end? I'm missing the game. Because you know what? The problem with the wave is it disrupts the game. It has nothing to do with the game, because once it gets going, it's just its own thing, independent of the game. So, you know, what happens is people have to, you know, all of a sudden stand up and sit down and stop doing the wave. And eventually the wave subsides because enough people have the fortitude and courage to, you know, make a stand against it by sitting down and not being a part of it. But that's ultimately what this mobilization is, and even with the wave, if you can figure out who the hell started it and they try and do it again, you're actually telling them, hey, stop that, because you just know the game you paid money to go see is going to be ruined because you're doing the stupid wave, which is exhausting and just actually has nothing to do with who's winning the game, And that's the crazy thing is these riots and the chaos, ultimately it has nothing to do with right or left, Democrat, liberal versus conservative. It's just, completely separate dark forces that want that stuff to continue on. So, that's what I've been preaching in my confront my, program, is being able to recognize the wave and stop it. But the wave, you know what, we're all going to recognize it because it's going to be ugly if it starts, and the question is, how long will it go and will we be able to, control it? So that just kind of brings me to my final point. The world, I could go through all the various things, economic, war, everything's pretty much just looking like crap. But what I thought I'd do is, take a minute and, what it's coming down to with this tribulation is it's a mindset by humanity, and you can either be on one side of it or the other side of it, but it's kind of how you go about your life and where your focus is. So, there's the us, they, but the us, they that I've been talking about is more what the rule by secrecy, the powers that be want us to do as far as dividing us, making us fight everybody. But this us versus they is really just what's in your mind and heart on a day-to-day basis, because you could be on either side of us and they, but you got to decide where you are on how you go about living your life. And what I mean is, we get caught up. It's the materialism thing. If you're starting every day and the first thing on your mind is worrying about how you're going to pay a bill or earn some money to buy something, and then your whole life is just devoted to and orchestrated around those monetary issues and problems, you know what? You don't have a life. You're a slave to, whatever anchor it is you've tied around your neck. And, if part of your day, every day, is waking up mad, angry, frustrated, discontent, that's all negativity, which is only going to manifest itself in a negative way. And will make you susceptible to being swept up in a wave or a mobilization, or being persuasive to, propaganda because you're not thinking straight. So the other way to go about your life is to wake up every day just thankful to be alive, grateful for one more day on the planet, and not to be thinking immediately about materialistic crap, but knowing that, you want to have a good day, and you're going to live your day, you're going to live large, man. You're going to live the day as though it is the last day on earth. And you know what? Of course you want tomorrow to come, and tomorrow is going to be a better day. That's got to be in your heart. But the key to tomorrow being a better day is that you go about living your life today as large as you can, because that's the secret. You can't not take a position. You cannot walk forward. Walking forward is positive. That's confronting your future and going forward. But if you're standing still, or worst case, you're moving backwards. And it's easy to move backwards because that's easy. There's no resistance when you're moving backwards. But it's all that negativity stuff, discontent, anger, hatred, bitterness, all that stuff. It actually tries to fool you into thinking you're moving forward with something. But if that's what's driving your life, you're actually moving backwards. And that's why, the powers that be, their ultimate goal is what they think is going to move the world forward to their benefit is a big step backwards for humanity, man. So that's the truth. We don't want to go backwards towards, tyrannical pyramid forms of power where some dude's at the top. I don't care whether he's called a king, a president, mullah, the pope, whoever. Like everything's got to be flattened, in the global society. But that's the point I'm making, is know what your value system is, know what's important, know what's in your heart, being a positive person. And the first step towards, you only get what you give. So, if you're not giving any love, you're not going to get any love. And what you figure out real quick is self-sacrifice is where it's all at, so that, to be happy, it's all about giving to somebody else, giving of yourself to somebody else. And when you do that, you will feel good, because we all want to feel good. That's why we're on the planet, is to chase liberty. And liberty is having fun and feeling good. Now, the dark side, they'll make you think that you could do things in isolation, but the truth be told is, even if you had $1 million, you can't be off by yourself, eating a bunch of ice cream or skiing down a slope or whatever it is you think it is that makes you happy, because if you're doing it just by yourself, you might as well not be doing it. So, we all know that the key to happiness is sharing whatever you got and whatever it is you're doing, but to take it a step further, it's just living your life knowing that you're number 2 on the ladder, and number 1 is actually, self-sacrificing yourself to help somebody else out. And on the other side, the discontent side, at the highest levels of power, of rule by secrecy, they're being driven by dark forces that make them want to rule it all, have it all, and be it all. And that's the dynamics. So anyway, I'm going to go back out there today. I'm going to live large. I'm going to get my tribulation on. I'm going to confront it all, whether it's on a local level or a global level. So keep the faith, man. Keep on rocking. Peace!